Hey everybody, Ryan Pruitt, typical white guy. As promised, it's Thursday night, and you know what? I made it. Like I said, it wasn't a great week. Definitely was not a great day. Didn't start off as a great day, but I chose how to be. And I mentioned on the last video, one of the things that actually kind of bumped me up today was as I walked by the mirror, I kind of saw a little shoulder action. And I got to use this right now to give a shout out to this little guy. It's a little Fitbit. Well, $75 little Fitbit. I knew I would use it to track what I was doing, but I had no idea how quickly it would instead of just inputting into this machine through my phone, how quickly it began to dictate what I did. How I've never logged my food before. And this thing, on the app on the phone, you can actually, it has a barcode, you scan in food, you get the exact calories. It looks at your energy level, your weight level, your goals, how many calories. I've never logged how many calories I'm taking in and what type of calories I'm taking in. I've heard the term, macros and macronutrients before, but I never knew what that was. Give a quick physical fitness. Boy, you go all over with this kind of thing. Earlier today, I've always kind of had adapted the idea of there's a triangulation to your body. There's the mind, the body, and the spirit. And today, what I talked about was the issues of the mind. And now it's about the body. My physical fitness, it's something, but the common theme of all three of those categories is I've never maximized my opportunity. I've never taken full advantage of what's around me. I've never been fully positive and engaged in the moment. I've always been about, well, what's next, or wouldn't it be better over there, instead of looking at what's right here around me, about taking advantage of what I have instead of wasting negative energy on what I don't have. And so, with my body, I was always high energy. I always ran easily. I was a picky eater. I was one of those kind of kids that I could go all day and not eat. When I was a freshman, I was 5'5", 105, because I wrestled in the 105 division, so I know exactly what I weighed. My best shape was probably when I was 22. I was 3 years into the Navy, so I was acclimated into that. I was eating regular. I was active. I had a health club membership where I swam, but also where I lived, on the helicopter carrier I lived on, there was a full weight room, free weights and Nautilus equipment, like literally like just up a flight of steps from where I slept. And and like I said, I look back at wasted opportunities. I was 21, 22, and I would go up to this gym with no plan. But we had one machine, but it was a decline. It had the bench press, it had a fly, and I would just sit there in front of the mirror and just do bench presses forever. I could do curls to just feel good. And my best shape, like I said, was probably about my third year in the Navy. 5'7", 5'8". I was maybe 148, but I had zero body fat. There was no fat. And then fast forward to about 27, 28. Up to that point, I ate whatever I wanted to, and I specifically remember it was a hot summer day, 27, 28. I was sitting back in my room without a shirt on, eating my usual, large Domino's pizza all to myself with whatever toppings, 2 liter of Coke, just sitting back, sweating, watching the ball game, drinking right from the 2 liter. And I looked down, and like overnight, I had a belly of a 50-year-old. And I remember I was shocked. It was like alien. I thought, and that day, it's been a battle since then to regain what I literally felt was not there the day before. And so that's when I really started to think about what I was doing, not just work out, not just randomly run, randomly go to the gym, but honestly start to put a plan together, to start thinking about what I was eating instead of just eating. And the other theme that brings up for me is it took me a long time, as I mentioned this morning, in terms of the mind, but even with my body, it took me a long time to ask for help, to search for answers. I don't know if I thought I was so unique. I don't know why I didn't. I think I always felt different, and so I never thought, from ages from 8 to 30 that other people could specifically help me. I just thought I was so unique in both good and bad ways. I never sought help. I never sought advice. So in terms of my body, it took me till about 30 to really start to look outside myself and start to put together a workout regimen, to start thinking and consulting about what I ate, when I ate it. And it's been a battle, mostly won since then. I'll go through peaks and valleys. I've learned. One of the other interesting things is that, so I was in the Navy when I was young, and when I was in the Navy, we just, like I said, we worked out, whatever. We had a physical fitness test that was relatively easy. Our job physically was not that taxing. It was more self-motivated. When I joined the Army, 12 years after I left the Navy. And when I joined the Army, I could tell I don't think it was an Army-Navy difference, but I think through the years, the military realized that a lot of guys, especially guys, were hurting themselves because they were just working out and doing whatever they wanted to. And PT sessions, formal PT sessions, were just a matter of we're not laid out with a plan. And by the time I joined the Army, the PT regimen was very structured, and it did a lot of things that even at that point, a lot of senior Army guys were kind of laughing at, because it was a lot of core work. It was a lot of, almost like yoga poses. It was a lot of non-weight squatting, fire hydrants, working on your legs, working on your hips, your butt, your lower back, because so many guys were getting injured, and especially being deployed. I mean, we were an active Army. The unit I joined had just come back from 15 months in Iraq, and a year from then, and we were leaving for Afghanistan in about 15 months from then. And so it was necessary for soldiers to not just be in good physical shape, but also healthy, consistently healthy. Don't matter if you're buff, if you've got pulled muscles in your back because you've been bench pressing too much, you're no good to anybody. And so the Army really broadened my understanding and appreciation of all the different muscles and how important the whole, not just the pretty muscles, but your legs and your back are. And so, and so even as I've improved, it took this Fitbit to get me really. I mean, it's been, just a little over a week now since I started logging everything. And honestly, the most difficult part, because, like I said, you put in your weight, you put in your goals, it tracks everything. And by tracking your heart rate, your energy, how many steps you're taking, your cardio, your workouts, it can tell you, oh, incoming. That's okay, they're parking. It tells you how many calories you need to take in and where you're at. But by far the most difficult part of the daily task that my Fitbit requires of me has been drinking 4 of these. I'm supposed to drink about 75 ounces of water a day, which is what I've always been told. It's supposed to be about half your body weight in ounces. And so 4 of these is 80. And I've never been a big water drinker. I drink at the gym, but I've never just been a good hydrating myself. And like I said, it's been amazing. I mean, the other night I was up like 11:40 at night chugging water, and I'm thinking, you know what? I think I'm kind of missing the point with this. I think you're supposed to spread it out. It's not an exam you can cram for, So I've tried. I'm taking a drink now. That's been the most difficult part. But I do appreciate it. So I want to give a shout out. Like I said, I'm not sponsored or anything. But yeah, it's the Fitbit Inspire with the heart rate. And yeah, I appreciate it. And I knew, I think back, this morning seems so long ago now. And one of the things I learned from the military is that whenever something seems too large to handle, you make it smaller. And when we were deployed in Afghanistan, there were times that we would legit say, just get to lunch. Just get to the end of your shift. Get to the end of this patrol. Get to the end of this street. Get to the end of this moment of whatever you're doing. If it gets too big, just make it smaller. And this morning, when I had everything from the week that had been piling up on me, and that's the thing with the Fitbit, it tracks your sleep. And there's been nights when I felt like I didn't get a lot of sleep, and now I can look at this thing and know I didn't get a lot of sleep. When I look at where I was at this morning, in a good way, it seems so far away now. And like I said, because I woke up and there was a lot on me, and I had the luxury and I've had days where I have the luxury of waking up early, things not going right, and going back to bed and just saying, let me try this again in 2 hours. And as dark as it can get sometimes, I told myself, get to right now. Get to this. Work is behind me. Everything that's happened in my life is behind me, good and bad. And now I'm going to finish this water. I'm going to get a little energy drink. I'm going to stay up and work out because I don't have to get up. I can get up whenever I want to tomorrow because I'm off. And I'm thankful. And I appreciate every day. I honor this day. And anyone that watches this, tomorrow, in a week, in a year, however long YouTube exists, I hope I can be a reminder that you can get through any day. Just get to the next moment. Watch this video when you think you can't make it, and just let me carry you through 15 minutes out of your head. And the video ends and we move on because we made it. Have a good night.